What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. This the truth behind the beef between Shawn Michaels and The Rock, or The Rock and Shawn Michaels, however you want to put it. Now, good morning. Good morning. I see you. Good people. Big Tyler said, I got a notification. That's good, bro. Things change. Wow, I haven't seen you in a minute. So, back in the good old days of wrestling, there were a lot of different scenarios that took place, a lot of different situations that came about. So we're going to go into a lot of those. Now, when The Rock was coming up, Shawn Michaels was the man. There's no doubt about it. The Heartbreak Kid was that guy. There was no NF buts or whatever you want to call it. No doubts about it. He was the guy. Now, when The Rock got there, people didn't believe in The Rock. It's a lot of prejudiceness and jealousy and a whole bunch of necessary nonsense that takes place in a lot of these businesses. And they always would mess with The Rock, and it was all his dad's Rocky Johnson. And, they all would talk about him and didn't think he was ready for the business because he was a nice guy and he put up with a lot. And, everybody kind of had their cliques, and he didn't really have a clique yet. So while he was there, they would treat him, it was just like high school. Basically, yeah, but it wasn't just him. It was a lot of people on some, on the tones of using race against The Rock. And, they would do that with some fighters, but they felt like The Rock was by himself. So he really didn't have nobody with him. It was only when like Mark Henry and a couple of other wrestlers started sticking up for The Rock, like having his back, that he started to say, because he didn't want to cause no waves. The Rock didn't. So he don't know like what he should say, because he came in as Rocky Maivia. Peter Maivia, his grandpa, and Rocky Johnson is his father. So he was Rocky Maivia when he came in. And he came up through the ranks of, trying out, being an amateur and, working out. But once he started working with the Nation of Domination and starting to get a little publicity, they actually had a match before. A lot of people say they didn't face each other. They actually did. They faced off with one another. And in a match with Shawn Michaels was, being a little too forceful with The Rock. He hit him with an elbow to the face, and, it was a little extra on the elbow. So The Rock's like, man, he's like, hey, dude, hey, bro, I just want to say, yeah, man, you caught me real good with that elbow. And he looked like, yeah, welcome to the show business, and then, he walked off, he's laughing, he's talking with Triple H. Rock said nothing. He can hear them talking down the hall. So when they get to the next town, he says, if he does that again, I'm going to check him, because I'm going to punch him right back. So the whole match, they had another match where they met up in another town. He didn't do it. Shawn Michaels didn't do anything. He didn't. The match went the way it was going. The Rock and them was supposed to lose, of course, to Shawn Michaels and them, which was no problem to him. He was like, cool, we lose, we lose. That it is what it is. Next thing you know, the bout is going on. Shawn Michaels doing everything. He's getting the house going. Then it's time for him to play some sweet chin music on the Rock. Boom! He puts like an extra oomph on the kick and really kicked the Rock in the face. And the Rock goes down and he's down for the 3 count. So when they get to the back, the Rock is looking for him. And he was like, hey man, yeah, you put you put a little too much on that kick. You might. He was like, maybe you shouldn't be in this business. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, maybe this ain't the business for you. Maybe you need to go back to Florida. But what he said, go down there and wrestle in Florida. And he was like, what did you just say to me? Go down there and wrestle with the rest of them. What he called them? Some type of Spicks or something like that. Wrestle those non-talented Spicks or something. He said it was something real disrespectful. And The Rock picked him up, boom, slammed him on the ground, and got on top of him. Triple H got on him. He shoved Triple H off, got back on Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels covering up. Pop, 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 pop. Rock put them hands on him. No, he ran into the office and Triple H told them to fire The Rock. Fire him! Or I'm never wrestling again. He's got to get fired. So he wanted him fired at that time. So he was like, fire him. He's got to go. I want him fired. And The Rock's like, no, I'm just kidding. He do that. Oh no, H was just breaking it up. Triple H he didn't want no parts of fighting The Rock. And he could barely hold The Rock. The Rock is strong. So they had like 3-4 wrestlers holding The Rock. And this is the first and only time The Rock has blown up in wrestling. This was the first and only time. So when they called him in, and they said, well, Vince called him in. He was, oh, Dwayne? Yeah. Well, what happened? Why'd you go crazy on Shawn after the match? You guys had a great match. Why'd you go crazy on Shawn? He's like, Vince, I told him, he kicked me on the side of the chin, and he put a little imp on it. When we was in Seattle, did the same thing. Last time it was an elbow. I just came and warned him. He started talking racist talk to me, and I wasn't going to take it. Told me I need to go to Florida and go wrestle. So maybe I should be out of the business if I couldn't take it. So I had to dish it back. He was like, okay, I don't see a problem. Just stay away from Shawn. Matter of fact, I won't even put you guys in the next town. You guys are not even wrestling each other. Don't worry. I'll handle Shawn. So Vince handled Shawn Michaels. Now, what ended up happening with Shawn Michaels was like, this guy's still finna wrestle? I'm not wrestling. So Shawn Michaels went in there and came up with some excuse to why he did not have to wrestle in the next event. He came out, he did his monologue, but he would not wrestle. So he did not wrestle in the next event because they did not fire The Rock. And what happened is Shawn Michaels ended up tearing up his knee. And when he hurt his knee, he could no longer wrestle. Shawn Michaels is known for not wanting to lose to anybody. He don't want to lose. That was if he was put. If they said, "Shawn, you're gonna go down tonight," so he didn't want to lose to Bret Hart at WrestleMania, which he was supposed to. So he's faked the injury so that he could hold on to the belt because he didn't want to get a belt over to Bret Hart. So he faked the injury. Ah, my knee. I'm gonna need some time off so he can keep the belt. So Shawn Michaels did a lot of things. Like he jumped off top ropes and was doing a whole bunch of stuff. So all of a sudden, he was hurt. And while he was hurt, the reemergence came in. So after Bret and him and all that was gone, we're back. We sped up. I was just went back to tell you how his reputation was. He was known for somebody who don't like to take a loss the whole nine. So now you know that. And we're back up to speed. He didn't want nothing to do with The Rock. Ever. And what happened is when Shawn Michaels was at the highest point in his career, he got hurt. And during his time of being hurt, Stone Cold came in. And Shawn was all messed up and anyway on drugs and halfway in and out of stuff. And Shawn was a mess at this time. So when they said, oh, well, Shawn's taking another break, he's got another injury, they had him lose to Stone Cold because Shawn Michael had to be gone for a while. He had a knee injury and he was hurt and he was going to take a break or absence. So when he left, The Rock blew up. It was The Rock everything. So while he was gone, Shawn Michaels was out of the game. You had the whole new era. And the new era was Stone Cold and The Rock. They had Mankind and all that, but they were the ones that led the new generation on. Shawn Michaels hurt his back, his knee, and a whole bunch of stuff. Shawn Michaels has never won a fight outside of the ring. Not one. Everybody beat up Shawn Michaels. So Shawn Michaels got beat up by a bunch of Marines. I mean, they beat him so bad he had to go. He almost went in a coma. They had to do plastic surgery on his face. No, that's the truth. They had to do plastic surgery on his face. That's how bad he was beat up by the Marines. He's never won a fight outside of the ring. Yeah, Sonny had to take him to the hospital. He was in his hotel room. Face was all deformed, and they had a wrestling match coming up, and he was like half and way out of it, about to pass out. He almost died. If they didn't get him to the hospital, he had blood coming out his ears, his nose. He was all beat up. They beat the living hell out of him. So anyway, Shawn Michaels comes back after the back surgery and everything else. He got clean of drugs. He was a whole new man. He got remarried. I mean, he got married and everything, and now he's in a stable environment, no drugs. He's in the Christ and all these things. And while he's doing this, The Rock is gone. The Rock is gone. He's back. The Rock is gone. The Rock is out now. The Rock is doing movies. So while he's gone, The Rock is pulled up. Now it's they trying to do the DX thing again with Triple H and everybody else, but The Rock is gone. He's no longer there. So this is why you didn't see the big epic Shawn Michaels and The Rock and all these great events that could have been going on. They weren't there at the same time when it was time to, bring in the clash between the two titans. So they never got a chance to meet when both of them were at the same level. That would have been epic to see, but we never quite got there. And don't forget, you guys can donate to the page by clicking the link in the description box, hitting up the Streamlab, or hitting up my Cash App from Carcino, still on the Cash App. Yeah, they were on different shows. That's what I told you. They didn't like each other. It was no doubt about that. They did not like each other. And Shawn Michaels definitely didn't like the rise of The Rock and how it became all about The Rock. When he came back, he didn't like that. He didn't like Stone Cold. He didn't like Steve Austin. Steve Austin and The Rock got along great. Him and The Rock got along well. The person that didn't get along with those two, Shawn Michaels. He did not want to give the belt to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was upset that he had to. He wanted to still have the belt and be out. And they was like, Shawn, we can't have you with the belt and out. You have to give the belt to Steve Austin. And after the press conference, that's when Shawn Michaels was gone after he lost the belt to Stone Cold. And that started the whole Stone Cold era. Oh, you had Shawn Michaels don't like to lose. If there's any scenario where Shawn Michaels had to lose, he would throw a fit. He would go at the writers and they'd be like, okay. He'd go to Vince and he'd say, you know what? Okay, look, Shawn's gonna win. All right. Look, I know what we said. I know what we worked on. The angle would have been great, but Shawn don't want to lose. So, and he's Vince's guy. So what could I tell you? But The Rock was the man. So The Rock had that program. Michaels was on the other program, and that's the way they kept it. And SmackDown was the biggest thing going. At that time, SmackDown was live and cracking. Man. They brought in Jericho and had Jericho go in against The Rock. That's when it was really good. Shawn Michaels he was in WCW. They were the Rockers. They were in WCW before as the Rockers, and they got picked up, and then they got kicked back out. Then they got picked back up, but they kept messing around and partying, getting all messed up. They were in WCW, then they end up going to WWF, then they got kicked back down. It's the thing is about the Rockers is they were like not WCW. They were like one of the other pilots that's connected, like the National Wrestling Alliance. Yep, Jericho. You think you're supposed to get some credit from The Rock because you was beating people up named Hoovertude? You think as you were doing that, you deserve something from The Rock? Oh man, that was a classic monologue. When Rock monologues were great. There you go, Kevin Smith. There you go, AWA. The Greg and Vern Gagne, the Gagne boys. So Vince McMahon brought them up. They start partying like crazy at the bar, getting drunk, get about to get into fights, and next thing you know, Vince kicked them out of WWF, and then he brought them back later on. You gonna say that to me? With my girl downstairs, she's asleep. Goldberg just couldn't talk. He had no monologue. You're next. Who's next? You're next. Dun, 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 dun. Goldberg couldn't wrestle either. Well, I wouldn't say Berg couldn't wrestle. That's kind of rude. I think he did the best he could. I mean, coming from a football background, a guy who blew his knee out playing football, transitioning over to wrestling, it's not an easy thing. Nah, it's not a slow news day for me. I need a real job. What do you mean? This is a great job. Matter of fact, donate to poor old Carcino. He has no money. Um, hit the cash app up. Name Carcino on the cash app. That's right. I'm in dire straits. Right. Hook me up with a job. I need it bad. I need a job real bad. Need a jobby job. I need a jobby job. Brock versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, that's just another guy. He had no monologue, couldn't talk. He needed a Paul Heyman. No, and that's the thing. People was deprived because Shawn was jealous of The Rock. When he came back, he wanted to get back to the top. But it's like, dude, Shawn Michael put on some great matches when he came back, but he was cowboy Shawn Michaels at that point, the Christian man, and it just wasn't the same. Yeah, you're right. He was an a-hole, without a shadow of a doubt. But The Rock kicked his butt. Rock lifted him up so fast and threw him to the ground. Yeah. Boom! Put the boom, 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 boom. I know everybody beats up Shawn Michaels. That's what I'm saying. He has never won a fight outside of the ring. My health is okay. I just need to get some sleep. I can't sleep with her. I'm exhausted. She just gonna have to wake me up. Oh man. I done pulled an all-nighter. Money over sleep. Good job. It's not a good job. Sleep is a good job. Sleep. Yeah, that's the bad thing. When she getting up, I'm gonna be going to sleep. That's not good. I'm gonna have to take her home. Oh man. Let me get some rest so I could be prepared for it. All right. Deuces.